we shall overcome this current existential threat we face. I pray for God's overwhelming healing power for those who are sick, including even those who are asymptomatic. I console bereaved families and commend our gallant health workers and our men and women in uniform, service personnel, for their sacrifices towards our common quest to heal our land of this pandemic. When we close the chapter on the year 2019 and we welcome 2020 with the usual fanfare and jubilation, we could not have predicted that so early into the year, almost every aspect of our life will be so profoundly affected by a global pandemic that has brought countries on every continent to their knees. But the signs were on the wall. Our schools are closed. Our churches and mosques are shut down. Some of our markets are closed or heavily regulated. Our movements have been curtailed, and anxiety has become a palpable reality of our daily lives. Guided by our very recent experience in our sub-region, the effect of this virus in many ways is like the Ebola virus that ravaged our West African neighbors, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea, a few years ago. I recall at the time there was a clear thought in mind when I stood before the United Nations and also Westminster to galvanize support for our neighbors who were suffering. I stated that Ebola was a virus that compromised our impulse of touch and closeness to comfort our loved ones who were infected. I mentioned that Ebola was a disease of isolation, and worse, it left many survivors ostracized and stigmatized. Care and affection are basic human traits, and when a virulent disease such as Ebola makes it impossible to show care and affection to our relatives, to our friends and loved ones, not even to get close or hug them, it is a most strange and difficult proposition. Sadly, these unfortunate developments are playing out before our very eyes with the current coronavirus disease. This is exactly when our brothers in Nigeria in February became the first in our sub-region to report a case of the coronavirus. I immediately called for an aggressive preventive measure to be put in place so that the disease does not spread into Ghana. We all hoped and prayed that this will not happen, but it was not to be. But now that it's here, we owe it to the people of Ghana to ensure that every attention, every decision, every human and material resource should be aimed solely at stopping the spread of the virus. We must manage cases to ensure speedy recovery and continue to have and build a secure and united country at the end of it all. In all these, my thoughts have also been on the state of our country after the pandemic. How different will our world and our country